Good morning everyone and welcome to the class. Presently we are doing the chapter New Questions and Ideas, and under this chapter we have discussed about Gautam Buddha and his teachings. Then we have discussed about the Upanishad and the Upanishadic thinkers, the thoughts of the Upanishadic thinkers, the ideas of the Upanishadic thinkers, and presently we are doing Jainism. We have seen that the last and the 24th Tirthankar of Jainism was Vardhaman Mahavira, and he also belonged to this period only. The period is around 2500 years ago. Okay, and he was also a Kshatriya prince, and he was a prince of Lichvis, and this Lichvi was a part of Vajji Sangha, as we have seen in the previous chapter. In Vajji there was a different type of rule in which Sanghas were there, and in these Sanghas there were thousands of kings, and these kings collectively used to take decisions and all. So what we find that Vardhaman Mahavira was also, just like Gautam Buddha, Vardhaman Mahavira was also not happy with the comfort and luxuries of the life. And what happens that at the age of 30, he leaves his home, he leaves the palace, he leaves his family, and he starts wandering in the forest, and he kept wandering for 12 years, and after that he got the knowledge, he got enlightenment, and after that he started to spread the knowledge, and there were some strict rules of Jainism. According to Vardhaman Mahavira, those who want to know the truth, they will have to leave their house. They cannot stay in the house and can know the truth. Both these things cannot go together. If they want to know the truth, they will have to leave the house, and after that leaving the house, they have to follow some strict rules, like they have to follow the rules of ahimsa, means non-violence, because every life, everything which has life, every living being longs for life. So we must follow the rule of non-violence. And besides, it was also the rule of Jainism that everyone who wants to know the truth, who is leaving the house, he or she must be very honest. Okay, they had to be very honest. They had to lead a very simple life. The life should be simple, and for the food they had to beg. Okay, they can't prepare their food on their own. For the in order to satisfy their hunger, they had to beg. Okay, these were the rules. I told you in the previous class also. And they cannot steal anything, because they had to be very honest. And not only this, they had to also observe celibacy, means they can't marry. Okay, and the one of the rule was also that the men had to give up their clothes. They were not supposed to wear the clothes. So these were the rules of Jainism. Okay, and what we find, the rules were very strict. It was not easy. These rules were not easy to follow. People, men and women, found it very difficult to follow. So it's not that because of difficult rules, because of strict rules, very few people followed Jainism. It's not like that. In spite of strict rules, we find that thousands of people left their home because they wanted to know the truth. because they wanted to follow the Jainism. So thousands of people left their homes, and but many more remained inside the house because they have to support the people who were becoming monks and nuns, है ना. अगर सब लोग ही घर छोड़ के मॉन्क और नन बन जाएंगे तो फिर जो मॉन्क्स एंड नन्स बन रहे हैं, है ना, जिन्होंने घर छोड़ा है, उनके लिए क्या रूल है कि दे हैव टू बेग फॉर फूड, है ना. तो अगर सब लोग ही घर छोड़ के निकल जाएंगे इन सर्च ऑफ ट्रूथ, तो क्या होगा कि फिर उनको खाना कहाँ से मिलेगा, क्योंकि कोई तो घर में है ही नहीं. तो हु विल प्रिपेयर द फूड, कहाँ वो बेगिंग के लिए जाएंगे. ओके, वेयर विल दे गो फॉर बेगिंग. तो इसलिए क्या हुआ कि मेनी पीपल लेफ्ट देयर होम एंड दे बिकम मॉन्क्स एंड नन्स, है ना. मॉन्क्स मेल persons who left their home, and nuns who are nuns, female persons who left their homes. So we find that so many people left their house and they become monks and nuns, but many of them remained in the house because they had to provide food to them, है ना. And we see that there were many traders who supported Jainism. Okay, and it was the traders actually who were mostly who followed this religion of Jainism. It was very difficult for farmers to follow the rules of the Jainism because one of the rule of Vardhaman Mahavira was that one who wants to know the truth must follow the rule of non-violence. Now farmers were there, they were growing crops, and one of the most important problem which arise in growing the crops is the pests and insect. Because of pests and insect, what happens, the crop is destroyed, है ना. जो कीड़े होते हैं छोटे छोटे जिनको हम पेस्ट कहते हैं, PEST, पेस्ट, ये पेस्ट क्या करते हैं, पूरी की पूरी फसल को बर्बाद कर देते हैं. तो जो फार्मर्स होते हैं उनको क्या करना पड़ता है, फार्मर्स को इन पेस्ट्स को मारना ज़रूरी होता है, नहीं तो पूरी की पूरी खेती ही बर्बाद हो जाएगी, किसी को कुछ मिलेगा ही नहीं, कोई भी फूड ग्रेन जो है वो प्रोड्यूस नहीं हो पाएगा. तो फार्मर्स को पेस्ट और इंसेक्ट को मारना पड़ता था. तो how can they observe non-violence? They cannot follow the principle of non-violence, है ना. So it was very difficult for farmers to become the follower of Vardhaman Mahavira. Okay, so we see that traders were mainly supported this Jainism, and Jainism spread to different parts of North India, like Gujarat. It was very much popular in Gujarat, and in present day also we find that Jainism is very much popular in Gujarat. Other than Gujarat, we find in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka also this religion has spread. Okay, so Jainism is spread to different parts of North India. Other than North India, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka were the main centers of Jainism at that time. Okay, and whatever was the teachings of Mahavira, these teachings were provided to the people orally. Okay, there was no written text, only orally these teachings were given to people, and that the language which was used by Vardhaman Mahavira was Prakrit, and this Prakrit was the language of ordinary people, as we have seen in the case of Gautam Buddha. Gautam Buddha also used the language Prakrit because Prakrit was the language of ordinary people. In the similar way, Vardhaman Mahavira also used this language. Okay, and we have seen that this language, Prakrit language, has different forms in different regions, and it was known by different names also. Like in Magadha, the form of Prakrit was known as Magadhi. Okay, and we see that whatever teachings was there of Mahavira, Mahavira has taught orally to the people. Okay, and these were written down presently around 1500 years ago. These teachings of Mahaviras were written down. The text of Jainism, which were written down around 1500 years ago, these are presently available at a place. The name of the place is Vallabhi, and this place is presently in Gujarat. So Vallabhi is the place where this written text of Jainism is found. Okay, and now we have discussed the teachings of Gautam Buddha and now the teachings of Mahavira. Okay, now we will learn something more about Sangha. Okay. The Sangha. So what we find that it was the teaching of Gautam Buddha as well as Vardhaman Mahavira that if you want to know the truth, if you want to gain true knowledge, then you will have to leave your house, है ना? ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि आप घर में रहते हुए आपको ट्रू नॉलेज मिल जाए. दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल अकॉर्डिंग टू गौतम बुद्धा एंड महावीरा. बोथ वर ऑफ द ओपिनियन दैट in order to gain true knowledge, you will have to leave your house, leave your home, leave your family. Okay, so when they leave their house, when they leave their family, when they leave their home, now there must be some arrangement for these people who are leaving their home in search of knowledge. So these people live together in the Sangha. Sangha, okay? People who left their house in search of knowledge, these people lived together in Sangha. What was Sangha? Sangha was an association of those who left their homes. Okay? जिन्होंने भी अपने घर को छोड़ दिया है ज्ञान को पाने के, ठीक है, उनका जो एसोसिएशन होता था, दैट वाज कॉल्ड संघा. ओके, संघा वाज एन एसोसिएशन ऑफ दोज हु लेफ्ट देयर होम्स. नाउ इन दीज संघास व्हाट वी फाइंड दैट some rules people had to follow, very strict rules in these sanghas. If they were living in sanghas, then they will have to follow many rules. And we see there is a book named Vinaya Pitaka. The book name of the book is Vinaya Pitaka. This is the book of Buddhism. Okay, and in this book some rules are written. Okay, how people should live in sanghas, what rules they should follow in the sanghas. So all these rules of Buddhism are written down in Vinaya Pitaka. Okay, and through this book we get so many knowledge about how people used to live in sanghas, what were the rules people have to observe in these sanghas. And from this book only we came to know that there were separate branches for men and women. Okay, men and women were not living together in sanghas. In sanghas there were separate branches for both of them. Okay, and it was free for men. All men were free to join the sanghas. There was no restriction on joining the sangha on men. जो मेल मेंबर थे सोसाइटी के, they were free to join the sangha. Okay, but we see that if children wanted to join the sangha, then they will have to take permission of their parents, because children were small, they were not able to take decisions on their own. So if they wanted to join sangha, then in that case they will have to take the permission of their parents, then only they can join sangha. And there were slaves also, and that time in society slaves were also there, and if slaves wanted to join sangha, they were also not able to take decisions on their own. They also have to take permission of their master, because they were not free men. Slaves were not free men. वो फ्री नहीं थे. They were the property of their master. अपने master के वो property होते थे. तो they cannot take decision on their own. They have to take the permission of their master if they wanted to join sangha. Okay, and in the similar way we see that those who worked for the king had to take the permission of the king if they wanted to join sangha. Okay, and those who were debtors, जिन्होंने किसी का डेब्ट लिया, DEBT, डेब्ट. What do you mean by डेब्ट? उधार. अगर हमने किसी का उधार लिया पैसा, अगर हमने किसी से लोन लिया है, तो फिर जिससे हमने लोन लिया है उसका हमें परमिशन लेना पड़ता था. ओके, और अगर वुमेन, if some women wanted to join sangha, then these women had to take the permission of their husbands. So in this way, sangha, first of all you must understand the meaning of sangha. Sangha was an association of those who left their homes, and in these sanghas these people who left their home in search of truth lived together, but there were separate branches for men and women, and men were free to join sangha, but if children wanted to join the sangha, they have to take the permission of parents. If slaves wanted to join the sangha, they have to take the permission of master. Okay, in this way it was operating. And one more thing, there is a book, Vinay Pitaka. This book belongs to Buddhism. Okay, and in this book some rules are written down which all the monks and nuns had to follow in the sangha. Okay, so here I must write these terms: monks and nuns. So who are monks and who are nuns? Monks are those male members of the society who left their house in search of knowledge, and nuns are those female members of the society who left their house in search of knowledge. Okay, so now we see that men and women who joined sangha, they lived a very simple life, because they are there in the sangha in search of truth. So if they wanted to know the truth, they had to live a very simple life. And how was their life? They had to meditate for most of the time. उनके जो उनका जो डेली रूटीन था, उस डेली रूटीन का जो मोस्ट ऑफ द पार्ट था वो किस में जाता था? मेडिटेशन में। व्हाट इज़ मेडिटेशन? ध्यान करना, है ना, आंखें बंद करके कुछ भी दिमाग में दूसरी चीज़ें ना आकर के एक जगह पे ध्यान को लगाना, उसे हम मेडिटेशन कहते हैं। ओके, सो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम वो मेडिटेट करते थे, और उसके बाद जब उनको खाना होता था, है ना, भूख लगती थी, तो उसके लिए क्या करते थे? दे वेंट इन द सिटीज़ एंड विलेजेस। वहाँ जाकर वो बेगिंग करते थे फूड के लिए। हर घर में जाकर के वो क्या करते थे? वो भिक्षा मांगते थे। दिस इज कॉल्ड भिक्षा, एंड दीज पीपल वर कॉल्ड भिक्षुज। इंग्लिश में जिसके लिए हम जो टर्म यूज करते हैं दैट इज बेगर, है ना। जो बेग करता है ही और सी इज अ बेगर। और उस समय जो हम एट दैट टाइम द लैंग्वेज विच वॉज इन यूज वॉज प्राकृत। ओके, एंड इन प्राकृत द वर्ड फॉर बेगर इज भिक्षु, BHIKKHUS, भिक्षुज। ओके, सो भिक्षु इज बेगर, भिक्षा देना, भिक्षा मांगना। भिक्षा मतलब बेगिंग करना। ओके, सो दीज पीपल, दीज मॉन्क्स एंड नन्स, एक्चुअली दे वर भिक्षुज। दिन भर वो मेडिटेशन करते थे, एंड जब उन्हें खाना होता था तो एट दैट टाइम दे वेंट टू द विलेजेस एंड सिटीज एंड देन दे बेग्ड फॉर फूड। इनको भिक्षु कहा जाता है प्राकृत लैंग्वेज में। ओके, एंड भिक्षुज इज फॉर भिक्षुज इज फॉर monks, and one more term is there, भिक्षुनीज। भिक्षु का, जिसको हम लोग इंग्लिश में तुम लोगों ने पढ़ा होगा ना, मेल एंड फीमेल जेंडर होते हैं ना, तो जैसे मॉन्क्स के लिए नन्स आ रहा है, तो भिक्षुज के लिए क्या आएगा? भिक्षुनीज। This bhikshu is male beggar and bhikshunis is female beggar. Okay? So these bhikshus and bhikshunis, they used to go to the villages and cities in order to beg for food, and they have to pay something, ना। अगर वो किसी से खाना मांग रहे हैं तो उसके बदले में वो उसको, दे आर नॉट पेइंग मनी बट दे आर टीचिंग देम, वो ज्ञान अपना बांट रहे हैं। दे आर स्प्रेडिंग द नॉलेज। वो मेडिटेशन से जो भी नॉलेज उनको मिल रहा है, दे आर स्प्रेडिंग दैट नॉलेज टू द पीपल हु आर लिविंग इन द विलेजेस एंड सिटीज। ओके, एंड दिस वॉज अ काइंड ऑफ, मतलब लोग इसलिए उनको भिक्षा देते थे क्योंकि वो जानते थे कि ये बहुत ही ज्ञानी लोग हैं, दीज आर वेरी नॉलेजेबल पीपल, है ना, और इसलिए लोग उनको भिक्षा में खाना अच्छे से देते थे, और खाने के बदले में लोग उनसे बहुत सारी चीज़ें सीखते थे, जानते थे, ज्ञान की बातें। ओके, एंड दीज भिक्षुज एंड भिक्षुनीज दे यूजुअली हेल्प वन अनदर, एक दूसरे के वो साथ में होते थे, एक दूसरे की हेल्प करते थे। ओके, देन मेनी टाइम्स क्वारल भी हो जाता था भिक्षुज और भिक्षुनीज के बीच में। जहाँ भी लोग रहेंगे ना, जब भी हम ग्रुप में रहेंगे, बहुत सारे लोग एक साथ रहेंगे, तो क्वारल होना भी बहुत नेचुरल है ना। तो ये भिक्षुज एंड भिक्षुनीज समटाइम्स दे क्वारल्ड विथ ईच अदर, दे फॉट विथ ईच अदर। तो फिर उसके लिए क्या होता था? मीटिंग्स होता था कि कैसे उसको सेटल किया जाए, हाउ टू सेटल द क्वारल। ओके, सो नाउ वी विल सी कि who were the people who joined these sanghas. So we see that all the group of society, all the caste of society, people belonging to different caste of society, joined Sanghas. Brahmins were also there, Kshatriyas भी थे, merchants थे, laborers थे, then barbers, courtesans, slaves, all were there. Okay, so it was not a kind of religion which was only for the Brahmins, Kshatriyas and Vaisyas. No, this was these religion which we are talking about, these new ideas, the Jainism and Buddhism, these were open for all. These were based on the concept of equality. Everyone was free to join these ideas, these new ideas. This was very important feature of this Buddhism and Jainism. Okay, and we see that those who joined these sanghas, those who joined these religion, some of them wrote down the teachings of Buddha. They wrote down a book, and in this book they have written the teachings of Buddha, and some of them also composed poems in which they described the life in Sangha, how the life was there in the Sangha. So this is about Sangha. Okay, and now after Sangha we will consider a new topic, and that is monasteries. So, monasteries. Now we will know about monasteries. Okay. So what we find that these monks and nuns who were there in the sanghas, they usually, what happened that they traveled from one place to another throughout the year, because their main function was to teach the people. So they used to travel from one place to another place. But during the rainy season, what happened that it became very difficult for them to travel because of the rainy season. So during this season, what they did, that they did not travel. They stayed at one place because traveling was not possible during the season. So what happened that at that time their supporters, who were the supporters of these monks and nuns, they started building temporary shelter for these monks and nuns, so that they can stay at one place during the rainy season. So these temporary shelters were made in many times in gardens, or many times they lived in natural caves also, because these natural caves gave them shelter against this rainy season. So this was the practice, that during rainy season they used to stay at one place, and for staying at one place they needed some shelter. And initially their supporters made some temporary shelters, but later what we see that there were many supporters who started building permanent shelter for these nuns and monks. These permanent shelters were known as monasteries. Okay, so जो permanent shelter बनाए जाते थे monks and nuns के लिए, जहाँ कि वो कभी भी आकर के रह सकते थे, ठीक है, these were for monks and nuns. These were permanent shelter, है ना. Whenever they wanted to leave, to stay at some place because of any reason, they can live at these places. So these were known as monasteries. These were also known as viharas. विहारास, ओके, विहार, जिसको हिंदी में हम कहते हैं विहार. The name of the state Bihar is for this Vihara only. बिहार का जो नाम पड़ा है वो इस बिहार से ही बिहार नाम आया, बिकॉज एट दैट टाइम द मगध was the main center of Buddhism and Jainism also. So these monasteries were known as viharas, and these viharas were made of wood. Sometimes they were wood, and sometimes they were also made of bricks. Okay, and many times these viharas or monasteries were made in hills also, by digging out the rocks, and thus caves were made. That is man-made cave, not natural caves. In Western India we find these caves are there present, which are called monasteries or viharas. Okay, so this is all about your today's class, and now we will discuss other things in the next class.